welcome back to Creative Chat Cafe. I am Zevzen, your host.
And I am Liron Glickman.
And hello, I'm Sandra Firestein, and we're your hosts on today's episode of Creative Chat Cafe. We're a weekly business talk show hangout for entrepreneurs and business folks who are looking to soar into a business and life that pays it forward.
Exactly. Now it is time to take some time out to hang out, to get some guidance, inspiration, and results, my friends. So you feel free to tweet us using the Twitter handle CChatCafe. Use hashtags such as Creative Chat Cafe or CCC Time to Hangout, and our special April hashtag Green Seas.
Awesome. Thank you, Laron. So the reason we give that information to you is because we want you to be a part of this conversation. This is not a live show. This is a recorded show, but that doesn't mean it's not interactive. Today, what we're talking about is tools that will help you green up your business and put money back into your pocket, something I know
we love that.
About. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to review and discuss some tools like Wave and other ones to help manage finances. We're going to talk about paperless options in managing those finances and tips because, my reminder's going off. I still have to pay my taxes. I've snoozed it twice today already, so I will get to it. But there are great paperless options in managing your finances and getting you ready to, be super prepared for tax season, which, just so you know, in case you forget, April 15th, that's the due date there. And then we also just have some great last-minute tips to make sure, even if you're down to the wire, you're good to go.
Absolutely. Woohoo! Thank you, ladies. And the fact that we're talking about the that will help green up our businesses. I am in green today, right? So I hope it reminds me that I need to put back some moolah back into my pocket. And I think today, of course, this is the Earth Day month, and that's why we're celebrating the green, whether it's green the environment or green your business or green your mindset, right? So we all need to find ways to make money. So, Sandra, you brought up a great point. Next week is, April 15th, and it's going to be tax day. Here's a reminder, everybody. It may be a little bit last minute for us to talk about this, but I think it'll become a great reminder for you folks out there who are probably, last minute people who, well, it does happen. We're all thinking this all the time. The clock is ticking, but I know we are all busy people. Hey, it happens sometimes doing last minute things, but I think one of the things we want to talk about, of course, the tools. How can you your business and put money back into your pocket, because we love that putting back money in our pockets, right, ladies?
Right.
And though it's last minute aspect, I think for us to talk about when we go green and in all our business, how can we put back money into our pocket? And Sandra, you probably can relate to this because being in the concierge, and I think the way we do business these days, we've actually transitioned from like a paper, business to a paperless business, so we can all go green, actually save the environment, make money. But I'm sure you have some tips for us, Sandra. Just working with your clients, and it would be a great point for us to talk about in this show about maybe going green. So the green that we're talking about today is not only putting money in our pocket, but how can we go green and help the environment? So what do you think, Sandra? Going paperless can be a huge transition, right, for many people, especially for those who are not used to going paperless. What do you think your clients, or how do you think our audience out there can kind of benefit from going paperless? How can you help them through the transition? Any tips?
Well, so one of the things that I think everyone appreciates once we can go paperless. I think it's one of those things where we're used to getting the mail, but we're also used to just leaving it on a pile. And it's kind of like, oh, well, it's there for safekeeping, but we don't really do anything with it. So I think it's kind of just a traditional way of doing things to have paper.
Right.
And so for some people, I think it is a little bit of a transition. They're like, wait, I don't have a paper receipt. I don't have proof of this. You still do. The good news, you still do. It's actually even more accessible because it's neatly organized online. So I like to go in,
And
Sorry.
that's a backup copy because you
Yeah.
can access it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so my entire business is paperless. I put my clients on recurring payments, so they don't even get an invoice. I don't want to have to invoice my clients. I just set them up so that if I need money for them for my services, the very nature of what I do is trying to remove items from your to-do list. The last thing I want to do is add an invoice to that to-do list. It just doesn't make sense. So I've been able to go paperless, and it makes my life way easier because it's all right there. I just have to log into my account, and the way that people organize data anymore, I mean, it's way better than what I would be able to come up with in my filing system. But really, I just find that my clients are stoked to not have to plug in their credit card or go into their bank and, you know, set up all this stuff. For me, going recurring is like the best way possible. It's out of sight, kind of out of mind. It's just taken care of.
And I think you're spot on about going paperless, like, because we're all ladies. I think the 21st century business has, I mean, almost everybody, I think, has a online feature built in and paperless. You know, everything on your computer, on your phones these days, because, you know, we all live right here, hey, admit it, because, hello, I sleep with my phone. Remember how Gandhi, you know, said, hey, she feels like she even sleeps more with her phone than her husband, you know what I mean? So the point being is that I think going paperless is awesome because when I see think about those receipts, right, that we often lose, like, and it's tax season, and we go like, where are those receipts that I need to claim for, right?
Yeah.
If your backup system is take a picture on your phone, right, save it to whatever app. And I think, Sandra, you made a great point about, you know, everything's automated. You can access online. You can backup copy. That comes in this form too, you know, your thumb drive. Yeah. So it's kind of cool, and I think it's just a little bit of taking used to getting it. It's never been paperless before. You need to take it a little bit, you know, a little step at a time. Liron, you know, have you discovered any best practices that have kind of helped you manage your finances better? Because here in the U.S., next week is Thanksgiving for us. So I don't know what it is there in Israel, but, you know, have you discovered any good finance practices that you?
Yeah, well, basically, I'm not that familiar with the USA way, but here we have to give our tax every 2 months, and then at the end of the year, December, we have like an annual summary
every 2 months. Oh my God!
Yeah,
that keeps
kind of nice though, just to stay on it rather than having a whole year go by and when did I spend that?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you like have piles to bring to your accountant.
Yeah.
Like, right. So I have this 2 months piles, and then another 2 months, and another 2 months. Basically, in terms of my clients and how I manage it, I try to use as much as I can online invoice programs, which kind of make it easier to get an invoice done, and of course send it through the mail, so it's kind of green and convenient and better than piling many papers. I use when dealing also with a local and offshore client. So I like to use PayPal as well from the same reason. You know, it's easy. It's also does help me do it. And yeah, and you know, if I have to kind of run, you know, some information down, so I like to use, for example, Google spreadsheet to kind of follow up on everything I do. So I try to use these online tools as much as I can in order to make it easier to collect and send all the finance information.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And I think it's important for us to be mindful of it. You guys, like, you know, you get, even though you have to do your taxes like every 2 months, at least it keeps you on top of your game. You know what I mean? You have to keep it on, like, hey, I have to do it in 2 months. So you have no reason to not do it.
Always 2 months away.
I know, it's just 2 months away. Yeah, absolutely. So
I just want to remind everyone what we're talking about today. So, and we're watching Creative Chat Cafe. That's what you're doing. And we are a business talk show hangout. And we have our show every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, I mean, it's been a little while since we talked about this. I'm the breakfast crew. Zeph, my co-host, is the lunch crew. And then we've got all the way at dinner time. all the way through. And so, I love the.
I have my carrot stand.
Ah.
Awesome.
And so today we are just talking about, regardless of where you live, tools that will help you green up your business and put money back into your pocket. So we are reviewing and discussing different tools, different ways to go paperless. And what I love about this topic is that it really doesn't, going paperless, it doesn't matter where you live. In fact, this allows us to be the entrepreneurs of the world, right? Like, you don't have to worry about your mailing address if you move all the time. It's just, it's in the cloud.
Yeah, absolutely. True.
And, so, so of course, if you want to kind of engage with us, so you can hashtag us, like use our hashtag Creative Chat Cafe or CCC Time to Hang Out, or our April hashtag, which is Greenbeans, and of course use our Twitter. We are very active there. So tweet us at @CChatCafe and tell us what you think. Do you have any like tricks or tips on how you manage your finances in a green way online? Would love to hear that.
Yep.
Absolutely. So Zeph, what do you do to go paperless, or how does going paperless allow you to do better work for your clients?
That's a great question. So, in support to what you just said, the automation, and one of the big things in going paperless, which is an advantage and benefit to us business owners, and in fact everybody. Think about this, right? It's a huge time-saving feature, I think, because if you're a last-minute type of person, especially, so imagine this and envision this, visualize this. You're doing your taxes last minute, 1 week, 2 weeks before the deadline, and you never really keep up with your receipts, right? You have this shoebox of receipts. As I have a friend who's an accountant in the past mentioned to me, you know what we accountants hate is that you bring us your shoeboxes like a week before the deadline, and have us to actually go through all that. Hello? He says, that's the reason why we charge you a lot of money, because we have to go through that horrible labor. And that's a thought process from some of you folks right there. If you're going to work with an accountant, right? So an accountant would be great if he lives probably next door to you. You can just walk over and have a shoebox of receipts. But imagine how much time you would be saving if you had like an app or just a process, a tool, a software that you use online. Save it on your computer. These days, everything are app-based, so you can just do everything on your phone, take pictures, and you can track your last-minute invoices to your clients and receipts. There's always going to be a way for us to back up, and I mentioned about the thumb drive. This is like your new best friend. Not only this, there's ways for us to, right? Sandra can probably say, agree to this. All the cloud computing, right? Sandra probably has helped us in our businesses, because there's ways for ways.
I think it's also a little bit, sometimes it makes me feel a little bit too confident, though, and that's part of the reason why I haven't done my taxes, is I'm like, because it's all just online, and so I know I'm down to the wire, but I make sure I do pretty much only debit or credit transactions so that I don't have to receipt. My bank tracks it for me. So, and I use the cloud accounting tool to pull that information, so I don't have to crunch the numbers. I just log in and it says, you made this much this month, you spent this much this month.
Right.
Awesome.
Exactly. You made a great point, and there's so many tools out there, apps, bookkeeping softwares like QuickBooks, Wave. Wave is app-based and it's free. It's it's got great features, functional. If you're last minute, use them, because I feel that it's less stress on you, because if you're stressful and you end up in an anxiety attack in the ER, that probably costs you money, and we don't want it to cost money to you, right? Hello? You want to put money into your pocket, right?
One of the things that I love about cloud accounting tools, too, is that, it makes it super easy for you to file your own taxes. It's all laid out right there. If you're the type of person that says, I don't do that, I hire a CPA, you can just invite your CPA to your cloud accounting tool, so they're not going through a shoebox. It's all laid out there for them. It's so easy for everyone involved.
That's and we talk about saving money, putting back money into your pocket. So, like I mentioned earlier, bringing a shoebox to your accountant, right? So imagine you're putting your accountant to work. They're going to charge you money for it, so it's per hour or retainer. So if you can at least help them, just by a click of a button, like, hello, send, and, they receive it. Everything's in order. It'll probably take them less, or maybe 50% of the time than they would go through your shoebox of receipts, right?
Absolutely.
So that in itself, I think, is great benefit for, working, going paperless and using tools that can help us, keep up with record keeping, receipts, invoicing our clients. So it costs us less money. And number three, I think, just like what you mentioned earlier, Sandra, is that, it's ready, it's at the click of the button, right? You can share it with your, accountant, email them, press a click button, on the app, they get it. So it's social. It's a social thing these days, right? We talked about it last week. It's a social feature built into every tool, financial tool, bookkeeping tool, accounting tool out there. So why not use it, right? We're all here to, find solutions to live our lives easier, make it more efficient, more effective, productive. So yeah, and I think one more thing I think is record keeping and reporting, right, Sandra? Every tool like that will allow us to okay, I want the report from January 2014 to December 2014, right? You don't have to oh, where's my paperwork? Everything is there at a click of a button.
I'd lose so much money if I had to do things the old school way. I know it. There are sometimes that I do buy things with the wrong card. Like I accidentally use my card and I'm like, okay, I'm going to remember to plug that into the system. I almost never do because the amount of money that I would save on that is, it accrues over time. So, fortunately, I am really good about using my one business card for all business transactions because then I don't have to be like, oh, which card did I use for that? Oh, did I put that receipt in the right pile? I think just relying on something as simple as a credit card, even if it's not linked to your accounting system, if all of your business transactions are made on one card and you never, ever, ever commingle any of that, you could just export that. And that's essentially as valid as receipts. I mean, I'm not
you make a good point there, and I think this is so in your wheelhouse because this is what you do a lot of times with your clients. But let me ask you this. Speaking of bookkeeping and stuff, how do you count all purchases made by your clients, Sandra?
So I'm in a little bit of a unique position where part of what I do is I go and I make purchases on behalf of other people. What I had to do, because this was a challenge I was faced with when I first was talking about launching my business, I knew that I was going to be getting clients who had a bigger budget than I had in my bank account, right? So first of all, I am not in a position to bear the cost of your expenses. But I also didn't want to have to seek reimbursement. I didn't want to have to count pennies to make sure, oh, I got this from you on this day. I didn't want to have to go and pick up cash beforehand to perform an errand. Oh, I was just all over the place. So what I ended up doing was I had to find a way where if my clients were making a purchase, they bared the cost. I was the facilitator, but I didn't actually spend any of my own money. If my clients are purchasing things online, they can use the credit card of their choosing. No big deal. But what happens if someone wants me to go to the farmer's market to pick up some strawberries, or a huge one is going to Costco? Costco is very particular about the payment options you can use. I had to find something that worked for all of these potential situations, and what I found is a solution called a Kimbo card. A Kimbo card is just a prepaid payment card. My clients they open their own account. They transfer money either by direct deposit, ACH, which is essentially like a check, a bank-to-bank, routing number to routing number kind of transfer. And they own that primary account. There are 5 subcards that you can have on this service. So my company, Pursuit Concierge, is designated one of those subcards. My clients agree to these terms. I understand I'm liable for these purchases. That was another thing that freaked me out. Even if I got a credit card with a $25,000 limit and someone wanted me to go buy a $5,000 couch, as far as the banks are concerned, I'm liable for that purchase. I bought it with my own money. I didn't want to have to bear that in case something went wrong. My clients say, oh, no, it's not mine. It's just, it was a headache. So a Kimbo card resolved all of these issues. And so it's a way that I've actually I've been able to completely bypass the stress of saying who spent what where. So if I'm going to Costco for 3 clients in one day, I'm not buying all of it and then calculating it out. I do 3 separate transactions. They're each on their own card. And the reason I talk about this service so much is there are so many applications. I got my a client of mine, she's a realtor. I got her signed up on it. She's like, this is genius. I'm gonna have my full-time personal assistant go on it. She has like a repairman that always goes and just fixes up the properties a little bit. Normally she was trying to like reimburse and track the cash and da-da-da. Now she just has a card for each member of her team. She just distributes the money. She's liable for it. What's great is that because it is all on the internet, she can see, oh, this was spent here on this day. It's the same. It's another kind of accounting tool. So I was able to entirely bypass the headache of keeping track of what my client spent when and if I got paid back for it, da-da-da-da-da. So if you are in a position where you are making purchases on behalf of other people or you have a team that's out there spending money for your business, the Akimbo card is a really great solution.
Great point. I think sometimes we entrepreneurs, business owners don't think about it like, the responsibility that you take on, especially when it comes to money or finances. If you can actually, use a simpler solution without, taking too much responsibility, I think that's a great thing. Great point there. Thank you for sharing that.
Woo! Thanks so much. I want to ask both of you ladies this question. So why do you think going paperless is so much more than just not using paper? What about you, Sandra?
Oh, it's my time, really.
Yeah.
There's less of a margin for error. You're not worrying about whether or not that invoice got lost in the mail. Because that can happen. People don't update their address or whatever it may be. But really, it's just knowing, like, because I set my stuff up on automated systems. The only time I really have to worry about it, this morning even, so I get paid on the 1st of the month, and most of my transaction went through. One of the cards got declined. I was able to give her a call right away and see that this happened. We plugged in a new card. It worked beautifully. It wouldn't be that simple if we were doing paper out, credit card. It would be this da-da-da-da-da. So it's really my time. And I get to just automate it, let the computer think for me. That's why I think it's the way to go.
Yeah. So you say it's all about time, saving time, management, efficiency. Great. What about you, Zeph? What do you say?
For me, I think, all that Sandra said is really good. No more hassle. It's all on automation. One of the great things, I think the challenges is we business people, right? We're always trying to look for solutions to save time and money, right?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 major things. Anything, right? We want to save time and money. So imagine, Leroy, you're a business networker. You try to go to many business networking groups. Imagine trying to juggle that, and then some of you mompreneurs out there, probably you have to get your kids to school, and then you have to dance lessons, soccer practices, and all that stuff, and then you remember, oh my God, I need to get paid too. Hello, ching. But I totally forgot to write and mail out that invoice. Hello, we don't live in the cave ages. Everything is readily available online. Can you imagine how your efficiency, keeping up being productive, effective, and efficient in our businesses by just doing everything online at the click of a button, how that would actually appear to your clientele or customers, because they got it together. They don't know our personal assistants are actually all these tools that we have online.
But if it's done, who cares, right? That's what everyone wants. They just want it done. They don't care how it's done. It's done.
That's exactly what it is. So, instead of having, back in those days, you had to, if you're an accountant, you probably have two, three, maybe help or co-workers in your office that you have to hire. And then you have to pay for the office. You have to pay for the help. And then accountants is just like, where is your office? Right here on my desktop. It's kind of cool because they don't have to pay for the overhead. So less service fee to their clients, right? So that's more money in our pocket, if you're the receiving end. And for for me, I just feel like having to put gas in my car is just too much money. Do you know what I mean?
Agree. But when you can do everything from one place from your computer.
Exactly. And for us, time is money. So in that, I think it's just, I do meet people sometimes that fight the technology or the tool or the process, I'm allergic to tech. Well, I can't help you if you take on that mindset. So we're talking about greener mindset also this month. If you have that mindset from the get-go, I mean, neither Leron, myself, or Sandra can really help you guys because you're already thinking and looking at the glass half empty, right? So if you actually take on the process and embrace it, just like, remember we had the black and white TV, right? Nobody wants to watch the color TV because I still like my black and white TV. And then the color TV came, everybody just like, oh, I like the colors, maybe I'll switch. So it's just the same thing.
And then you forget what it used to be like. You're like, I can't believe I lived that way.
Exactly. And you know something? Look into the future. Like we talked about the past. Look into the future. Israel is a great hub for innovation in tech and high tech. And different companies such as Citibank and other companies open some different tech accelerators where they're only focused on what they call fintech, finance tech. So they're really like developing all kind of applications, like of apps and different tools that will help us create better and more efficient way to manage our finances or pay or such things. So we're looking to a great development in this field in the next few months and years to come. So I really, really recommend you should stay tuned and see what's going on. There's so many ways just to make our lives so easier, using technology.
Yeah,
well, so I had a really good reminder, let's see, I think it was like a week or so ago. My poor man spilled a glass of wine on his computer.
Oh.
And, the computer was fried. It died. And he's definitely one of those that is a little bit, he grew up on a farm in Ohio, he's got that old school part in him, and I've been trying to get him to get on the cloud forever and ever. He's a real estate agent. There's a ton of information to hold on the cloud. And something about it just wasn't sitting right for him, and he fried his computer. He was able to save the data for a couple $100, but it was one of those things where for a couple days he was like, I don't have a computer. I lost my business. I'm sitting there, why is this not on the cloud? Why are you not storing all of this on the cloud? I operate my business entirely on the cloud. So if I'm on vacation or if I'm out and about, even if I don't have my computer, I can stop into a hotel, fire up a computer, log in, do my business thing, log out, keep going on. We are expected to be connected all the time. It doesn't stop with money.
Yeah.
And I think one
big thing. Can I tell you?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Liron. Go ahead.
Sorry, just a funny story. It's kind of related in a way. It's better to kind of, if you can run your money online, in the bank and using those apps instead of having them in the house. So I just read this morning an article about these two girls that wanted to help their parents get more money. So the parents had 200 shekels notes in them, it was all a total of $2,000, and they wanted to help their parents get more money. So they just cut all the notes. Because of small pieces, and then you go with friends, look, you have more money.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my God, that's adorable. But that's good. That's a thought, right?
Yeah, thankfully the bank gave the parents their money back, but again, it's always better to get your money online and get what you need next to you, but this is of course an extreme and cute situation, but it also tells us that we should use what we have online to manage our money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, we're almost done here with time, but I just want to, leave this with this tip right here. Just being mindful.
yeah,
This whole month we're talking about, how to green up our business, how to green up our mindset and environment. We're just not talking green about, Earth Day green, environmental green, but how, because here in the U.S. our money is green, so we talk about green, right? So,
yeah,
but how can we be green overall? When we do go paperless and go online, it's everything a domino effect, and uh,
yeah,
it just happens that way. And one thing I think for us business folks, we have to be mindful, especially if you're an independent business owner, having
mm,
tools like this online, you'll be amazed at how productive and how much more time you can buy for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
you're actually eliminating or reducing your footprint going to the probably the post office. That's
right.
me, you know hello. So I have my niece who lives with us
yeah,
and wanted stamps, right? I said to her, I don't
yeah.
know if I have the most current stamp. So I pulled out my stamp box. That would probably price 10 cents ago.
Oh.
Okay.
So that in itself tells you like
Mhm.
how I've been able. People ask me how I've been able to do so much in in such a short period of time. I'm going to tell you, folks, this is what I do. The cloud computing or doing stuff online, the automation process allows me to buy back some of my time. So if you are running a business and you're
Yeah,
not maximizing or leveraging all these tools, you're just going to waste time. And your clients, your customers need to know that we're all efficient, productive people. Because if they're going to hire us, they know they need to have some sort of a trust that, okay, she knows her stuff,
Right,
So
right.
yeah,
that's a very important thing. So I just want to, before we go, have everybody share their contact information so that, you folks out there, if we talk about money and going green, we can go on
yeah.
forever. It's always a great
Right.
conversation. But, we'll continue the conversations in our social networks and check us out on Facebook, Google Plus community, and, hit us up there and we'll continue to more provide more information. Liron and Sandra will also chime in, but let's
Yeah.
get Liron to share her contact information first before we go.
Cool. So this is my email, www@leronglickman.com. I'm a business networking expert, so I can help you achieve your goals through smart creation and management of your business relationships, because it's all about people. So how do you actually create your effective network of friends and colleagues? My email is info@leronglickman.com, and stay tuned, and thank you.
Woohoo! Go ahead, Sandra.
All right. Yeah. My name is Sandra Firestein. I started my business a year ago. It's called Pursuit Concierge. My website is Pursuit of Seattle. Though I'm based in Seattle, I can help you all over the world virtually. And there's a lot that I can really do. And just so you have an idea of what it is that I offer you your time back.
There you go.
We're all being pulled in a million directions. We all have so many tools available to us, and they all take time. Even the ones that take a lot of stuff off your plate, there's still a lot going on to just, try to keep up with life. I'm here to try to take some of the pressure off so you can go do things that make you really happy. If you want to get in touch with me personally, I'm at Seattle Sandra. That's true for both Instagram and Twitter. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only Sandra Firestein in the entire world. So if you Google it, my Facebook will pop up and all sorts of other yummy stuff. So we'll be here
Yay!
pretty soon.
Thank
Yes.
you. So yeah, so I'm just gonna share also
And
a
the
bit of our
queen.
And the queen.
So I'm just going to share a bit of our information because Entrepreneurs at Soar produces this show. So this is what you will need to do to watch our shows. The easiest way. All on a lot of social networks, but we always try to get everyone to just go to our website, watch it. It's the easiest way to not miss our shows. So you go to www.entrepreneursatsoar.com and a tab that says web show, and when you click on it, it says Creative Chat Cafe. You'll be able to catch up with all our past episodes there. And it's every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So check your local time. And every first Wednesday is a live broadcast. And this is our Facebook page. Go to Facebook and go Creative Chat Cafe. This is our Google Plus community just for post-show conversations and more videos and information. This is our hashtag CCC time to hang out. CCC Creative Chat Cafe. That's our standard hashtag. And for April, we have a special hashtag Green Business. So this is our Twitter. Yeah. So this is Twitter at CChat Cafe. And YouTube, you need to go to Entrepreneurs That Soar YouTube channel, and we have a playlist for all the past seasons and even the current season of Creative Chat Cafe. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, ladies. It's been a great pleasure talking to everybody. Like I said, conversation about money, about going green. That's why we took the whole time talking about it. Not only about putting money back into our pockets, but people in the next 3 episodes, we're gonna have guests that are gonna be super awesome. They have awesome stories. These people, these entrepreneurs, these business folks are making a difference in the environment, in business, and helping folks out there green up their business mindset environment. We'll see you in the next episode of Creative Chat Cafe. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Leron, for joining me. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.